Test 1 2. In the building, AC Sports Live on the 16th day of December. That's right, folks. 15 days left in the year of 2026. Couple shows left in this year. This thing's winding up real quick. Hopefully you've accomplished everything you had set out to accomplish this year. If not, you got 2 weeks to do something about it. Tonight's show, the Eagles get off the schneid, finally get a W versus the LV Raiders. But at this point, any win was a good win. We'll talk about that. The white elephant in the room, no pun intended, Sherrone Moore, in his fall from grace. I have some words of encouragement for anybody who may feel they're in the same boat as this young man, as far as decision making, as far as risking it all like this man did. I have a different take on it. Shedeur, still going through it. Gave my man the wrong plays. I can't express how disappointed I am, and everybody that's around this young man in the Browns organization, especially that head coach. Talk about that. The Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua fight is this week. Are you going to watch it? We already know the outcome. My tender love report, John Cena wrestled his last match. And I heard my son watching it in the other room, and he was not happy. So I had to check it out. There's a running back in the FCS playoffs who did something that's very tender. And our main man, tender love himself, Anthony Davis, is back on the report. I'll show you why. And my sports flicks, Anthony Edwards has a new show. It's called Serious Business. I checked it out. I think it might be something worth watching. This is AC Sports Live, and it's time to get the show started. Let's go.
Put him to the test. He be reigning king forever, resurrected after death. All praise to God, brother. Say it with your chest. Say it with your chest. All praise to the one.
Yes, sir. All right. So my Eagles beat the Raiders 31-0. And I should be happy, but I said last week if we don't beat the Raiders, it's Cancun on 3. 1, 2, 3, Cancun. Because we just don't know what team is going to show up every week. Well, that was a version of the Eagles from last year. However, the Raiders are in tank mode. They're in JV mode. They had Kenny Pickett at quarterback. He used to be an Eagle. and poor Ashton Genty at running back can't get past the line of scrimmage. It's not like we're playing great. The Raiders are just that bad right now. But I will say, Rubio says it's showtime. Every week on Tuesday is showtime. Going back to our NGBN TV days, Rubio, we got to make that documentary, man. We can't let that guy off the hook. That guy owes us a lot of money, man. Oh, my nephew, Darion. Are you a Raiders fan? Raiders are trash. It's just a bad... I don't think Pete Carroll survives the season. And if he does, it's because he's a happy-go-lucky, at the same time, cantankerous old man who's not going to step down. You got to fire me and come get me. But they did give the Eagles a little bit of juice going into the final three. And the Eagles and the Cowboys had... If the Cowboys would have won their game, we would have a very interesting race in the NFC East. But since the Cowboys lost, the Eagles are in the driver's seat to win one of the last three and clinch the NFC East. We have the Commanders twice and the Buffalo Bills. The Buffalo Bills game will probably be a litmus test to if we're going to make any noise in the playoffs. So if we can beat the Bills, I think we're back on track. Kevin Patullo finally put together a game plan where everybody got the ball. And somehow or another, everybody's happy again. Because like Jalen Hurts said 5 weeks ago, winning isn't winning the objective. A winning quarterback makes sure the ball is spread out to all his receivers, all his weapons. But when you're trying to appease a particular number one receiver, yeah, he gets his numbers, but we usually get the L. The W feels a lot better when A.J. Brown gets 2 catches and a touchdown and a win than him getting 9 catches, 100 yards, and a loss. So, Jalen Hurts, stick to your guns. Quarterbacks are measured by wins, not yards. And whoever is talking about Jalen Hurts for Joe Burrow, miss me with that. I think one of my students asked me that today. He's like, Mr. Cobbs, would you trade Joe Burrow for Jalen Hurts and 2 first-round draft picks? I said I wouldn't trade Jalen Hurts for Joe Burrow straight up. If the Bengals gave us 2 first-round draft picks. We have a man who's been to the Super Bowl twice, outplayed y'all's GOAT twice, and got 1 Super Bowl MVP. And we're the reigning champs. So everybody slow your roll. We're not trading Jalen Hurts for Joe Burrow, who has only played 1 complete season. The 1 season they went to the Super Bowl. Every other season he's been hurt. What has Jalen Hurts been? Available. So y'all can miss me with that Joe Burrow for Jalen Hurts talk. Darian said he's still with them. You still rocking with them? I'm praying for all the Raiders fans. I got a few. Nephew Darian, my cousin Byron Biggers. Who else? Coach Raul Lara is a big-time Raiders fan. We got to keep them guys in our prayers. It's not good. Key from the Philadelphia. What's good? If you're flying, Eagles fly. Sweet brother Numpsy's in here. Knicks are the NBA Cup champs. It was great. The NBA has got something here. I missed it. I thought the Spurs were winning the last notification I got. So, Sweet brother Numpsy's giving us an update on the NBA Cup. I wasn't interested. So, I think it's still a consolation championship. That wasn't KP. I'm not convinced. You don't think that was him calling plays? It was different, right? It's like, okay, so now doing it that way lost us 3 in a row. let's go back to, I mean, he never has been a great play caller because even when we were winning the first 8 games, we were barely winning. We were blocking field goals for touchdowns. But Saquon didn't have a 100-yard game. Now, granted, if you look at the stats through 12 and 13 games, we're not too far behind from last year. Of course, Saquon's not going for 2,000 yards. And A.J. Brown's not the top receiver in the league. And Smitty's only getting the ball a quarter of the time. But you see Dallas Goedert's touchdowns have gone up. Smitty and A.J. will still get 1,000 yards if they play out this season. Like, if we beat the Commanders this week, I could see us shutting down a little bit. Not taking the Bills game too seriously. And then the second Commanders game, probably resting our starters. Having solidified the NFC East. So don't think the stats are going to get any better. But to keep rhythm, I think we'll play. But I know we want to be smart. Just like last year, Saquon didn't go for the record. He would rather win the Super Bowl. And it paid dividends. We got the chip. Everything was great. But we want more. That's the key, man. We can't be complacent. Can't be comfy. Got to continue to get better. Got to continue to add to our roster. I want to take a moment to say thank you to Adoree Jackson, who's playing a lot better as of late. You really can't judge it off the Raider game, though. Got to look at the previous 2 games. Now, I don't want to keep discounting the JV Raiders. But sometimes you need a game like that to get back on track. This week we play a much tougher Commanders team. And we will see if we are the truth or are we going home week 1, as it looked like we were going to do 2 weeks ago. I love the NBA Cup. It's very Euro soccer stuff. I saw a couple of games with the fancy painted floors. I actually went to I want to say when I went to the Sixers game back in Philly, it was a Euro looking floor. It wasn't the normal looking floor. So it probably was an NBA Cup game. I just don't think it means anything. Like, it doesn't mean anything for a NBA championship. It's just to create viewers. It's just to create eyes. So I'm not one who particularly cares a whole lot about the NBA Cup. Because at the end of the day, nobody's going to care that you won it. They're going to say, oh, yeah, by the way, you won the NBA Cup last year. Why didn't you win the NBA Finals? The real trophy. And you'll just say, well, people got hurt, people got tired, and we fizzled out, and we fired our coach. I just like good basketball. I don't care if it's a, fancy mid-season participation trophy. I'm just happy to see Wembanyama becoming Wembanyama. Steph Curry still doing his thing. LeBron James practicing his golf swing on the sideline. You just gotta love when the games mean something. I would hope, if that's what the NBA Cup is for, to make the games mean something to somebody. But who's gonna say that certain teams will have bigger aspirations? Didn't necessarily care a whole lot. Like, there's a lot of games. Did Luka miss any games in the NBA Cup? Like, were there a lot of superstars sitting out? A lot of times I saw Austin Reeves scoring for 35, 40 points when Luka didn't play or LeBron didn't play. I don't know. Brother Noopsy said, okay, so now they're back to my Eagles. Oh, we suspect, man. We gonna have to keep an eye on them and see. I don't know when my Raiders will be good again. The Raiders had a chance to be good, but they didn't want to draft Shedeur. They wanted to get a running back without an O-line. You get a running back without an O-line, you must think you got Barry Sanders back there. He's good, but he's not Barry Sanders. Meech in the building. Go Niners. Niners looking good. Yeah, I need to tell Brock Purdy to stop all that Dougie in, though. That's not his dance. That's not his ministry. He's back there counting 1, 2, 1, 2. Commanders are trash too. Jaden Daniels is sitting for the season. We better beat Mariota. Mariota is balling. I promise you it's not going to be an easy game. Yeah, it's backups, and that's Jaden Daniels, but Mariota won the Heisman. We keep forgetting that. When Mariota is in his bag, he's a good quarterback. So I'm not going to say we should just destroy the Commanders. We should if we play like we did last year. But we're playing like we played this year, so anybody can beat us. We got a bunch of injuries. And offensively, we don't have an identity. We're still trying to figure it out. So if anybody wants some, they can come get some. I'm praying that we get our act together by winning again this week. It's Saturday because of all the bowl games and stuff. So we have a Saturday game, which changes up everything. I'll have time to watch objectively because I don't have a fantasy team left. All my fantasy teams are out. This is my first time in my ever playing fantasy football that I don't have a team advancing to the second round of the playoffs. My teams were very bad this year. For whatever reason, Lamar Jackson couldn't put it together. Derrick Henry couldn't put it together. Mark Andrews, I picked too many Ravens. That's what I get. Keith said, I hate our cup floor. So the Sixers cup floor is hard to look at. I don't know if they didn't take into account what it looked like on camera and what it would look like towards people. But it's hard to look at. He said, I mean, the bench and the rookies get $500,000 for being in the Cup championship game. That's good. Can the fans get some money for coming to the games? Can we get something? He's like, no. They all play hard. No, he didn't miss a Cup game. So they made sure they made the Cup games, but the games that weren't Cup games, they missed to get ready for the Cup games. I don't know, man. Maybe it'll grow on me next year. Maybe these players want to play in the Cup and they go hard. But then what happens the rest of the season? So after the Cup. So last year, didn't the Lakers win the Cup? It's fool's gold, man. It's fool's gold. Nobody cares. Meach says, exactly. Big game for the Hawks on Thursday. So the Seahawks are the Seahawks playing for number 1 seed? It's the Seahawks and the Rams are the top teams in the NFC. Mariota is playing well. I know he's playing well. I saw him play last week, not before this week, so I know he can still put together a 200-yard game and 75 to 100 yards on the ground. So I'm not going to sleep on him, man. Dr. Frazier's in here. Good evening, my good brother. Johnny Manziel also won the Heisman. So did Fat Dude the Raiders drafted years ago. But Mariota's actually good. Sometimes, and the dude that won the Heisman this year, Fernando Mendoza, he's going to be an okay pro. He's going to back up somebody for 10 years. But the Heisman is not what it used to be. But when you do have a guy who can put up 2,000 yards, well, no, he put up 4,000 yards passing and 1,000 yards rushing when Mariota was at the top of his game. He was a guy. And now he's an adult. Johnny Manziel was not an adult. He was an immature kid who beat Bama twice by himself. That doesn't equate to actually being a good pro. Mariota actually has size. Mariota actually watches film. He's an adult. So he's done a lot better. Is he a perennial All-American, All-Star? No. But I'm not going to sleep on him. And I'm definitely not going to say Johnny Manziel is on Mariota's level when it comes to being a professional quarterback. The fat dude that won the Heisman? Who you talking about? Chris Winkie and them? We had the Heisman is a popularity contest because for me, Jeremiah Love's the best player in the country. And then Jeremiah Smith from Ohio State, who did not win the Biletnikoff Award. Mekhi Lemon from USC had a couple more yards, but how many games did Jeremiah Smith not play the fourth quarter? because Ohio State was winning by a lot. The best player in the college football is Jeremiah Smith. But he plays on a loaded team, and he's only a sophomore. Is Fernando Mendoza the best player in the country? He just happened to be on the number 1 team in the country. And he has Indiana playing at a very high level. They have a very good chance of winning the whole thing. And usually the best player on that team has a very good chance of winning the Heisman. Doesn't mean he's the best player in the country. Just the most valuable player on his team. For what Coach Cignetti does, he's perfect. He did the same thing at Cal before he transferred to Indiana. It's the right fit, man. Mike Staff said Lakers won the first one, the Bucks won the last one. Okay. Doesn't equate to championship, so I guess you got to just go for what it is. A mid-season championship. A mid-season participation championship. The fans need money for watching that fake championship, says RT3. RT3 said, I think the Lakers won the cup 2 years ago. Oh, man. You got to pay the fans to watch the fake championship. They can keep trying. They got to do something. Jamarcus Russell. Yeah, did he win the Heisman? I thought he was just a number 1 pick. Jamarcus Russell, did he win the Heisman? I don't remember that. I remember him throwing the ball 100 yards. I don't remember him winning the Heisman. Somebody do a background check. Did Jamarcus Russell win the Heisman? Russell Heisman? He was a Heisman Trophy finalist. He didn't win. He won the Manning Award as the best quarterback, but he did not win the Heisman. He was invited to New York. I knew that wasn't. I had a feeling that wasn't the case because he did not burn the world up like Joe Burrow at LSU. They both went to LSU. Like that said, Mendoza is trash and better not get drafted higher than the 4th round. He's not trash. He's very good. He's done it at 2 different places with different OCs. He's a great game manager, which means he'll be a good pro after his 3rd or 4th year. I wouldn't say he's trash. He's been very clutch and he's made some big throws. Is he the best player in the country? No. But the story in its totality, got to give it to him. He couldn't have given it to Pavia because he don't know how to act. He told all the voters to go somewhere, and then he had to apologize for it. So he just messed up his draft stock by talking too much on Twitter. So now all the writers that he just offended, now they better treat him worse than they treated Shedeur. That's all I'm saying. Keep that same energy. Somebody that's too cocky and needs to be put in their place. Diego Pavia from Vanderbilt comes to the Heisman Trophy with no tie, a turtleneck, and a gold chain, and his brothers looking like the Sopranos. And then he's gonna be disrespectful at the Heisman Trophy award ceremony? Nah, man. The NFL don't play that. The NFL don't play that. Mendoza should get drafted higher than Pavia, especially because he looked like the same size as Dylan Gabriel, like a little pocket-sized quarterback. And Indiana is this year's feel-good story. Again, the media has a vote, and they want stories. Who beat Jamarcus Russell? 2006? Good question. Jamarcus Russell got robbed. That's what they say. Somebody look it up. Of course, this is a clickbait. I can't stand the clickbait articles that won't tell you straight up What's going on? Who won the Heisman Trophy over Jamarcus Russell? Doesn't even matter. He was a bust. He was the best quarterback in the country, but that was not a great quarterback class. How is he the best quarterback, won an award, get picked first, but didn't win it? Because the Heisman is partially a story, not talent. Mendoza will be trash in the NFL. I think Mendoza will play it smart. They won't be scratching and clawing to make him start day one. He's going to be like a third or fourth round pick. He'll make the team, and he won't see the field to his third or fourth year. Like the president said, when you win the first of any, it means a lot. Yeah, I agree. RT3, he's not trash. He's won at Cal, which played in the ACC when he was there, and he won out the gate with Indiana, and they beat Ohio State 13-10. That doesn't mean he tore the whole game up, but he made some clutch throws. He's not going to be Drew Brees or even Doug Flutie. No, but he can definitely be Danny Dimes. Daniel Jones, he can definitely be let's see, Jacoby Brissett. He could be Kenny Pickett. Like, he could be a decent NFL quarterback backup for 10 years. Because when he comes in the game, he's going to know what to do. He'll know where to throw it. So if you get him in the third or fourth round, it doesn't even matter. He could be Matt Castle. He won't get the chance to start to his 10th year in the league. But he's going to be in the league. He's a feel-good story, and he has a Heisman. So he will be on commercials. He's going to be in the Heisman House commercials. Life is good. Whose life is not good, and I'm not going to kick the man any further down than he already is, but your guy Sherrone Moore is not living the best life right now. As we all know, he risked it all, lost it all, had one of the most prestigious jobs in college football, was handed the job by Jim Harbaugh, said, I want this man to have my job when I go to the NFL, so gave him the job. And this stems back to the Michigan, provost, the Michigan president, whoever makes those decisions, were forced their hand and had to let him be their head coach because of the request of the national championship coach who left the cupboard pretty full, beat Ohio State his first year, which gave him a little bit of job security. This year they lost to Ohio State, so the chips fell, literally. So everything that was hidden was brought to light, and it turns out this man has a lot going on outside of his marriage, and Michigan has a no tolerance policy, especially with subordinates and their authorities and their head coach with the staffer. So that's bad news. That's not good. However, that was recoverable. Like, he could have made it back from that. He could have got a job somewhere else from that. It wasn't until he went crash out mode and broke into the young girl's house and threatened himself and threatened her. So now he has cases pending. So you lose $30 million on a crash out. This was the most expensive crash out almost ever. So for him and guys like him who were thrust into a power position, we were having this discussion with my drill brothers, and we were talking about, if you've never been in power and you've never had that kind of access, you really can't fathom how that feels, and the pressure of your job and the long hours, and then you're around these young ladies, but wisdom has to kick in. You cannot be around your weakness. This man was married to a woman who was similar to the girl he was messing around with. That's his type. He liked the bunnies. Cue up the Dr. Umar. My black queens forever, snow bunnies never, was not his motto. He liked what he liked. And he worked long hours, so it was bound to happen if he has no foundation to resist. And I was like, well, what does the Bible say for this type of situation? And I was like, well, for all married men, Proverbs 5 lays it out for you. And if I had a time machine and I could go back 3 months and warn this brother, I don't think it would do any justice. I think he would still be who he is, because he's not sorry for what he did. He's just sorry he got caught. Because as soon as he got out of prison, allegedly, he's hitting up some of his other side pieces. Notably, I think some OnlyFans ladies. And they were broadcasting it. They want to get paid. That's what they're in it for, right? They want to get paid. And sadly enough, this man has no money left to hush anybody. But if I'm going to read a warning to all my men who are married and have something to lose. Proverbs 5:3, for the lips of a strange woman drop as a honeycomb, and her mouth is smoother than oil. This man set himself up. He hired an assistant who resembled his wife but younger, and who was an optimist. Like, she's not even going to lose her job in this whole thing, which is crazy. I think the same thing happened in the Boston Celtics. Ime Udoka's mistress didn't lose her job because she was connected to the management, but whatever it is, this young lady is not getting drug in the mud. She gets to go back to work, from what I'm hearing. So if her mouth is smoother than oil, but her end is bitter as wormwood, sharp as a two-edged sword, her feet go down to death, and her steps take hold on hell. Lest thou should ponder the path of life, her ways are movable, that thou canst not know. You don't know what she's going to do. He fired her. So she took her receipts and ended him. Literally. She took her receipts to management and said, this is what we're doing. This man bought a plan B with the DoorDash or Postmates. Something that is a paper trail, man. Hear me now, therefore, if all my men that's married out there said, hear me now. Depart not from the words of my mouth. Don't forsake the next few words I'm about to say. Remove thy way far from her, and come not nigh the door of her house. Do not go to her house. Why is he no longer going to be able to coach? He went to her house and broke in and threatened her life. That is a coaching death sentence. He is going to now be relegated to menial jobs where he's in the back, not seen. And I mean, at that point, once they find out who's back there, it'll be all bad. And my argument to my brothers was, what about his daughters? He didn't count the cost. His daughters are going to be scarred for a mighty long time, because every single parent at that school is going to know his face. And if he drops those girls off one time to school, that parent's going to tell another parent, and that parent's going to tell their daughter, don't play with them. Their dad is dangerous. or whatever it might be. So his little world came crumbling down, but we can use this as a lesson, as a warning. This guy lost everything. And there are guys who are, I mean, what he did with his assistant is not uncommon. There are tons of people who have misused their power and had inappropriate relationships with their subordinates, from President Clinton to the current president to who else is all these, Bobby Petrino, Rick Pitino, all these coaches. And I was just looking at the internet, and Iman Shumpert is finalizing his divorce to his former wife, Tiana Taylor, for some outside of the marriage activities. And he, in essence, is throwing it all away. But he can recover from that because he didn't threaten anybody. He didn't hurt anybody. He didn't break into anybody's house. The crimes that he committed after the fact is what's going to hurt Sherrone more for his life. But you look at guys who are tricking off their money. Iman Shumpert's not playing in the NBA anymore. He is paying Tiana Taylor over $25 million in a divorce settlement because he did not fulfill the agreement. So he broke the prenup. So he has to pay out $10 million in cash, 4 houses worth over $10 million, luxury cars, a Maybach, a Benz Sprinter, a tour bus. She gets to keep her own business that he bought and 75% of her husband's wealth. 75%. And then he's still going to pay $8,000 a month in child support. So he's right now left with around $2 million. And he's no longer in the NBA. So his $100 million contract that he may have gotten if he was a max player, gone. Sherrone Moore's $30 million contract, gone. Because he got fired with cause. We have to do better with our decision making. And again, we weren't in that position. But we have to learn from people's mistakes, man. We can't keep touching the stove. It's hot. I feel for those girls. I don't really feel for Sherrone Moore to the point where, man, that shouldn't have happened. No, man, it needed to happen. You were living foul, and you took advantage of getting the most prestigious coaching positions in college football. And now you're going to make it hard for other brothers to get that job. I am hearing David Shaw's name, though. David Shaw's name came up to be the next coach at Michigan, which would not be a bad idea. Very successful at Stanford. Older gentleman, not messing around with the young girls. Focused, determined, but could he navigate today's NIL landscape? We shall see. Rubio said he needed to hire Flo from the show Alice. Mean, older, fiery redhead. Who can you hire? Did his wife leave him? After the money's gone, she's gone. I would imagine. I don't think there's any money left for her to leave him for. He only got paid 2 years. And he's been living this wild lifestyle. There's no guarantee he even has any money in the bank. That money stops. She said that those cars she bought, the home she's keeping, is also what she bought. Now he's living on country Wayne skits. So if she still has more bread than him, why does he have to pay alimony and child support? The money he used to make? Oh, that coach from Michigan is a full-blown idiot. Uncle Shay lost a lot, but still has something. Jonathan Major's still trying to recruit, but at least he's married. Like I said, the infidelity in today's society is almost a commonplace with celebrities because they are around so much temptation. And if they don't have a foundation of faith, a foundation where the word means something to them, God is real to them, and they really value their wife and their children, they will fall. No doubt about it. There's no way. Even the best dude in the world is going to fall if there's no foundation of faith. There's no way around it. So this guy would have had an opportunity to go coach somewhere else if he did not get violent, if he did not break into her house. So all he can do at this point, I would say, be a podcaster, but who's going to be his sponsors? Who's going to pay? This guy right now, nobody's going to want to touch him. They're going to treat him like OJ for a long time. Pete Rose for a long time. Like nobody's going to even want to get a selfie with him. It's going to be bad news. Nobody wants that. So I ain't got no words necessarily for him because it's going to be a minute before he can get himself back together again. He might just want to stay in prison where at least the homies will just help him tell stories in the celly or something. But on the outside, as a free man, it's going to be tough. It's going to be really tough for him to navigate a transition into being a civilian. Because it ain't no more Michigan, buddy. No more Jordan Brand. No more national TV spots. You risked it all and lost. Big money, no whammies. Whammies. Got the biggest whammy. All right, so rumor has it is that Shedeur Sanders was given the wrong play card for his wristband going into the game on Sunday. We've been whispering about Sabotage, and we've been hinting at Stefanski just not liking Shedeur. This is crazy, man. And three offensive linemen didn't play. So what is really going on? We know there's some belief that this goes back to when Dion poured water or emptied a champagne bottle or on Tim McCarver. It turns out that Kevin Stefanski married Tim McCarver's daughter. So there's the "you better not" at the house conversation. This is like when Patrick Mahomes would not throw Travis Kelce the ball because his wife was mad at Taylor Swift because Taylor Swift endorsed Kamala Harris. So we didn't see Travis Kelce get the ball for the first 10 games. And now they're going to miss the playoffs. Here we go. Stefanski said there was a mix-up and we got it fixed. 3 O-linemen, Zach Zenter, Wyatt Teller, and Jack Conklin, inactive. Jerry Jeudy drops a touchdown pass and hands it to the defensive back for an interception. And you give him the wrong play card, so we're calling the wrong plays in the huddle, which equates to a blowout loss. I never really was a conspiracy theory type guy. But if you don't like the guy, trade him so he can go be great somewhere else. That was deliberate. That was wrong. That is just Bush League. Free Shedeur Sanders. Free Shedeur Sanders. Who's in here? Papo. What's up, big fella? I'm thinking the Shedeur thing comes from higher up, and Stefanski has been strapped. Well, even if that's the case, who's the face of the hate? It's Stefanski. If I'm Stefanski, I'm not because now it's going to affect his next dollar bill, his next check, his next team. If he doesn't want to be the do boy anymore, he's going to have to step down. Because guess what? Deshaun Watson's coming back. Shedeur Sanders, Dylan Gabriel. What you gonna do with all that talent in the room? Somebody got to go. And you got that big contract that you gave Deshaun Watson. Oh boy. We got a fight on Friday, Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua. Or should I say a dance? I just rewatched Anthony Joshua versus Francis Ngannou. There's no way that Anthony Joshua does not knock out Jake Paul in the first round. Unless they've agreed to dance. The fight card is decent. I'm going to watch Alicia Baumgardner fight. And I'm going to watch the undercard. Anderson Silva versus Tyron Woodley. Two former MMA guys, boxing, which be, pretty good fighting, but both of those guys are killers in real life. Alicia Baumgardner's fighting against Layla Baudin or Boa Doin. I'm saying it all wrong. I know it, but they're going to fight for the super featherweight world championship. Jake Paul, Anthony Joshua fighting at the heavyweight level for entertainment. Anthony Joshua in 2, if it's real. If it goes the distance, Jake Paul's all about money. I'm trying to make my assessment right now on the spot. Jake Paul's all about money. If he fights a good fight and loses, he still will be considered a good draw because he's fighting an actual active fighter for a change. But if he struggled with Fury, he's going to get destroyed by Joshua. So, again, Joshua in 2, Joshua by decision. I can't see any way that Jake Paul beats Anthony Joshua. He's not as good as the guy who just beat Joshua. He hasn't been fighting long enough, and he's not big enough to get past Joshua's jab. He will have to take a lot of punches to get inside and throw that left hook. He thinks he can catch him. Joshua's chin is fragile, but I don't think Jake Paul hits hard enough. He's not Tommy Morrison. So, again, money is out there. I just saw Tim Bradley challenge Jake Paul. Tim Bradley's a super welterweight. He thinks he can beat Jake Paul. He wants to get paid, like most guys. And I'm not mad at that. It's about getting paid, right? It's always about getting paid. It's an entertainment sport. But I'll be watching it. I got Netflix. Today's show brought to us by All In CDL Training, the future of commercial driving in Long Beach, California. Again, New Year's resolutions around the corner. Get your Class A license while you still can. Why not? Also brought to us by Impact Cell, Impact Silica, the fountain of youth. Get your joints back fluid again. Get back to jumping again. Dust off that old jump shot. Can't hurt. Also brought to us by Electro Gum. Get your Electro Gum now. It is available. I think I have one that has the actual at ElectroGum handle on Instagram. Buy yourself a pack. Help Alexander Cos, my son's NIL package. That's his partner, ElectroGum. Yes, sir. All right, so we're getting into some tender love. Let me strike it up. It's becoming a fan favorite. All right, man, I'm a big wrestling fan. From years ago, though. I don't know a whole lot about today's wrestling, but I know John Cena. And John Cena just wrestled his last match. The problem with that Triple H and those who write the storylines, John Cena's MO was never give up, right? You can't see me, never give up. Thugonomics. He gives a smile, face turns blue, and he taps out. I would have much more. I would have rather him get submission or specialty pinned. Not a choke. A regular old choke. Not only was I surprised and disappointed, but the entire wrestling world, the arena, those watching at home, my son in his room, the feeling of that's how it's going to end. Makes you wonder if that's it. Makes you wonder he might make a comeback. Makes you wonder this may not be the end. Because that right there was not how we saw this coming to an end at all. AD's back in it. Of course. Street clothes himself. But these are not the street clothes you want to wear. AD. Cut off jeans. Ugly Christmas sweater? Or is that a ugly cowboy sweater? A Native American sweater? Tight cut off jeans. Striped socks. Blue kicks. Afro and Prince glasses. Your fashion person needs to be fired. That's not what we're going for. Aaron Rodgers. This tender love right here. Tush push. And you in the stands. We know you're not getting the ball. We know you're not running a route. Y'all go ahead and handle that. Tender love a little bit. Just a little bit. Yeah, tender love. And there's a player from Tarleton State who entered the transfer portal at halftime. As they lose to Villanova, the game wasn't over, the game was close, but halftime, he made the announcement on Twitter that he was entering the transfer portal. Different day we live in, gentlemen and ladies. Different world we live in. Mike Staff said John Cena went out soft. Man, at least get pinned, man. Triple H got booed when he came out. Say Uso downed him for leaving his catchers in the ring. He clowned him for was he wearing Skechers? That's who his sponsor is. I stay on AD's head because AD be doing some stuff, man. He's not even in LA no more. He's still looking like he's in LA. Come on, man. All right, man. So my sports flicks, I watched Ant-Man's show on Amazon Prime. It's called, I already forgot what it was called. What's Ant-Man's show called? Strictly Business or Serious Business? That's right. Serious Business. Did I bring up the Serious Business with Anthony Edwards? Y'all know Ant-Man said he's good at every sport. So he's on there playing different sports. I've watched the episode. He's playing ping pong with Olympic level ping pong players. And he played against Marshawn Lynch, who was just as cocky and arrogant and confident as Anthony Edwards. They played ping pong. Ant-Man beat Marshawn Lynch pretty bad. So Ant-Man goes against the American Olympic champion and says, if I score 1 point, I'll win. So she said, I'll give you 10 points. If you score 1 point, you win. And he got a point. He won. You can't tell him he's not better than her. Even though we know she was smashed 11-1. He got that one. So I think it's a pretty good show. I wonder what the next event will be. What's the next sport? He said he can win. He said he could beat Michael Phelps in swimming. He said he can hit the baseball farther than, an MLB player. He thinks he can do everything. I think it's a cool premise for a show. I think they'll get tired quickly, but I think while they have it, it'll be just like Pros versus Joes. For now, it's good TV, and I definitely will be watching. So Jey Uso said he was clowning. John Cena was wearing Skechers. Oh man. I saw Snoop Dogg had Skechers. I don't know why I was in Skechers store, but Snoop Dogg had a line of Skechers, and they looked like Chucks. And I like, man, these dudes would sell an ice cube to an Eskimo. I try to tell you, man. I try to tell you. All right, I think that is my show. Make sure I got everything covered. I think so. I appreciate y'all input. Y'all learned something from y'all. Hopefully you got some insight from me. I don't dwell on the scores. I like stories. And I'm sure you all like stories. I don't necessarily like narratives that spin the truth. I like to hear stories from a perspective of authenticity, reality, and transparency. There's 2 sides to every story, sometimes 3. But at the end of the day, performance, what comes out of those stories is the actual truth and what you need to know. So for stories like my Eagles stories, like Sherrone Moore, what's the real here? What's the bottom line here? And what can we take away from it? We're still fans of sport, but at the same time, we're human beings and we have to live our lives. And we have to make some of the same decisions that a lot of these guys you see in the spotlight make. And we have to take stances and positions one way or another, whether they people agree with them or not. And it's okay. At the end of the day, God loves you. Yeshua is the king. And he died for our sins. So all that stuff is there. All this other stuff is just entertainment. Let's keep it at that. All right, man. I think I'm good. I think I'm out. Dr. Frazier, you be blessed too, my brother. I appreciate that. Speak with the Noomsy. I can't wait to come back. I have so much. Hey, man, you got to stay consistent and stay on there, man. You can do it. Shalom, shalom. Do it. Don't let nobody stop you. Get your date and time and keep going. That's what I've been trying to do. Not trying to be better, just trying to be the best I can be. Mamba mentality still works. All right, y'all be good. Be blessed. I'll see y'all next week. Go Birds. Go Bruins. And somebody else asked, is my son transferring to UCLA? I don't know what we're doing, but it's God's plan. And we're going to be obedient. We're going to pray about everything. And we'll see where he has us land. Hopefully it is on the West Coast, but we're going to be open to whatever opportunities present themselves. A lot of prospects out there for a big, strong, fast kid. And I'm looking forward to wherever he ends up and be a fan of that school for the next 2 years. All right. So we'll start his promotional package soon. I'll let you guys see his highlight and all that good stuff. And if you know somebody that can help you. You know what I'm saying? All right, y'all. Y'all be easy. Until next time. Be good. I'm out.